Thanks for staying with us on SABC News. Western Cape disaster management officials have confirmed that 2 people have passed away in the heavy floods which lashed the Western Cape last week. Officials have been briefing Western Cape Premier Winde on its response and current situation. SABC News reporter Vanessa Poonah has more.
Disaster management officials in the Western Cape have had a briefing here in Cape Town this morning for an update following a week's worth of torrential rains, heavy winds that have wreaked havoc across various municipalities in the Western Cape, the Cape Metro, Cape Winelands, as well as the Cedarburg municipalities. We have now confirmed from the disaster management head, Colin Diner, that 2 people have indeed lost their lives in these floods. One, as I understand, the Buffelsjag River, and then the other in the Matsikama municipality. Provincial Premier Winde has sent his condolences to families, but stressed the importance of communities to heed the call when disaster management officials indeed advise to evacuate. And of course, one of the key areas they were speaking about today, in just looking back over the past few days, was the issue of early warning systems and how these are implemented to prevent further damage. I'm bringing in here now Premier Winde. Premier, it has been a week from a place we don't want to mention for the Western Cape. I mean, you know, we've seen some slides. There is still much damage out there, still much to be done in terms of humanitarian aid. Just a picture, sir, in terms of the Western Cape on the whole, the worst affected areas, and what's happening right now.
So, of course, I think, first of all, big thank you to the teams that have been out there for this week, the disaster management teams, the volunteers from local government, national government, provincial government, SAPS, ESCOM, you name it. People have been out there. Primarily, our job, save lives. And then once you've saved lives, then what about infrastructure, etc. And so, yes, 2 lives lost, and condolences to their families. A big message, at least one of those 2 lives was someone that was asked to evacuate and refused to. And we're really sorry about that. But please, the message is listen to the officials when they come along, whether it be police, whether it be disaster management people. They come with a warning because we've done the work, we've done the preparedness, we know how much water is coming down the river. It might only get there in 2 hours' time, but it's on its way. We need to listen to them. And then, of course, I think, we don't even know what the damage is yet because we're still getting disaster relief in humanitarian relief, helicopters flying food into places like Wuppertal, roads being open to get trucks into places like Citrusdal. And then I think about Rawsonville. So in Rawsonville, also many people in community halls. So I suppose the Winelands area, and then up the Weskus, and then of course in the city of Cape Town as well. We've also got people that are displaced because of the water levels.
Premier, you did say just now when I asked the question on whether it is too soon at this stage to even start talking about a declaration of a disaster, because as you've just mentioned, these visits and assessments must still be done. But we've heard from, I think, the agricultural people that the conservative estimate at this stage is that we're looking at damage between some 750 million to R1 billion. That must be concerning for a province like the Western Cape, which relies heavily on agriculture.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, first of all, people's homes, people have lost their homes and all their belongings. So that's the first thing, and that has a huge cost. Then secondary to that, there'll be, as you say, agriculture. We don't know yet what the overall loss is. I know that in parts of the Weskus, they're still busy with harvesting. Have they lost the rest of the crop? Can we still harvest that crop and get it to market? And then, of course, there's whether there's water pumps disappeared or road infrastructure. And then, of course, there's the province and our own provincial road infrastructure. As you said, 14 roads in our province are still closed. As of this morning at 5 o'clock, the report was 8 fully reopened, 7 partially reopened, and then the 14 that are closed. And that's not counting those minor rural roads which have washed away as well. So, yeah, it could run into the many billions of rands in damage. But we don't know really yet until we have time to go in and do the assessment. First of all, we're going to make sure that the people of this province are cared for, safe, able to kind of get back to their homes, get back to their daily lives, and at the same time as that, we'll start doing once that's sorted, we'll start doing the assessment.
Premier, thank you so much for your time. Of course, Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winde, just talking to us there following a media briefing by disaster management officials here in the province, giving an update on the work that has been done since the 14th, that of course when the heavy downpours started across large parts of the Western Cape, and then also saying that the work continues with some respite in terms of weather conditions. Of course, the next few days will be used to get more humanitarian aid to those in need, and then at the same time assessments continuing to make sure that infrastructure like roads, the various roads that have been damaged, can be taken care of. And of course, we do know that we're only in the second week of June, July and August still to come. So officials saying that they're not resting on their laurels as more rain is expected throughout this winter season.